Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest today. From Worcester, we have Huck and Joe Truesdell. I said that right.
Absolutely.
Welcome. And they are the owners of the TidePool Bookstore off of Chandler Street, 327 Chandler, right?
Actually, it's 372.
372 Chandler.
Mm-hmm. You're right?
372 Chandler.
Oh, 372. Okay.
Yes.
The way I found out about them is I believe it was in, let me see, the Worcester Business Journal.
Okay.
And the bookstore, how long has it been since you opened it? I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah. It's actually going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
We were scheduled to open in March of 2020. Just wonderful time.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right, yeah.
We were in the late stages of our build-out at that time when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So we opened online in April of 2020 and started
Working
selling
out of our dining room.
books out of our dining room and delivering them and mailing them.
Did you move into a building that was already there or build something? What did you do?
Well, the building is there.
It's already there.
We just had an empty space within us where the Lincoln Stamp and Coin store
That is
was.
good. So
for many
then you kind of
years.
came back to in person in 2022?
Then we opened in person
That's
in the
something.
late summer of
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really good.
But and it was a perfect way to open, actually, because it wasn't very crowded, at that time, of course, because, people weren't really going out that much, and we had a lot to learn about the bookstore. We'd done a lot of, we've gone to, took a class, a week-long workshop on running an independent bookstore and things like that prior to it, but there was still, still a lot to
But
learn.
neither
So
of us had any retail
Right.
experience.
yeah, so wasn't a bad thing to open
So you both
slowly.
are avid readers, right?
We do love to read.
What's your
but
favorite venue?
our favorite what?
Your venue. What do you like? Sci-fi, mystery? What are your favorite?
Yeah, I think, I'm more of a fiction person.
And I'm more of a
but I like-
nonfiction
Okay.
or
You
historical
like nonfiction?
or historical fiction.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of authors now coming in to give speeches, presentations?
We do. It's been really great, and actually this past this April has been super busy. I mean, a little even busier than it was kind of crazy busy, wonderfully crazy busy. But yeah, so we probably had people in 3 times a week on average during April, but that's a little more than we typically would have. But then we also have the Now Book Club meets at our bookshop once a month, and the Worcester County Poetry Association meets every other month in the bookshop. So it's kind of, we have story time at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. So there are things that are regular things that go on, and then authors.
This is a great picture of them in the Worcester Business Journal, The Wonderful World of an Independent Bookstore. I know we call them indies now.
Yeah.
Have you been in Rhode Island at all? Every year it's the Rhode Island Authors Fair, and it is packed.
Oh, awesome.
No, I have not been there.
We've been to a lot of bookstores in Rhode Island. When is that? When do they hold that?
It's usually in December. Every year. And it's the Rhode Island Authors, I guess they call it the fair, and it's like, I don't know how many hundreds. That's
great.
Talk about overwhelming. From all over. You don't have to be from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But I know the man that founded it originally.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah,
Where does it take place?
It used to be in Cranston.
Yep.
Now, where did it move, Paul? Do you remember where it moved?
Some hotel. That
One of those motels over there. But it was, I don't know how they'd have
great.
the room for everybody.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Really, now,
Wow.
you opened it about 3 years ago to start.
Yep.
This is the TidePool bookstore. And so you retired from your jobs. You retired young. When did that happen? How's that happen?
She made me look young.
I retired when I turned 65.
Yeah. You retired. What did you used to do?
I worked for the Massachusetts Division of Fisheries and Wildlife.
That show, Northwoods Law?
I
love that.
I worked in land acquisition and protection for the
Very
Commonwealth.
good. What did you do, Joe?
And I taught kindergarten for 41 years. So.
You taught kindergarten.
Yep, Bancroft School in Worcester, and
Yeah.
so we both loved our jobs, and but then it was time to retire and to move on, and so but at that time, so we retired in 2017, and at that time, Worcester, which used to have a lot of independent bookstores,
Yeah.
always growing up and everything, there were always independent bookstores. The only bookstore at that time was Annie's Bookstop, right?
Yeah.
And
Barnes and Noble.
then there was a Barnes and
How
Noble
about
there.
Tatnus? Was that still there then?
Tatnick,
Closed in
Tatnick
2005.
closed
Yeah, that's why they're in Westboro.
15 years
Yeah,
ago.
they're in
Yeah,
Westboro.
and Ben Franklin Books had closed and everything, and so that just didn't seem right to us, and so that's why we went on this journey.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the great thing is that then Bedlam Book and Cafe opened in the Canal District, and then Root Press opened.
We'd have them on the show, yeah.
And so now it's just sort of Worcester is back to being the thriving bookstore.
They're blossoming, you know?
spot. Exactly.
Which is the one in
exactly.
Kelly Square? Is that?
So the
That's
one
Bedlam.
is Bedlam.
That's
And that's a
okay.
used bookstore, and then and Root
So
Press.
you have used and new, right?
We don't. We just have
all brand new.
just all new bookstores.
Now,
Yep.
what are your days and hours that you open?
We're open every day except Monday, from 11 to 5, except Thursdays we're open until 7.
Ah, good. You have one. And Saturday?
And so
11 to 5.
Yeah,
11 to
11 to
5.
5, and Sundays 11 to 5. Yeah.
Okay, now tell the viewers how they can get a hold of you about your store.
Well, the easiest way is on our website, which is TidePoolBookshop.com. And from the website, you can email us to contact. There's a contact form, and
You can
we also
order
have
books.
a telephone number, 508-753-2500. And yes, you can order books over the website
Yeah.
to either pick up in the store or have them shipped, either way.
So you both.
yeah.
Where did you both meet? You're a teacher, and you were in the natural habitat.
Well, we
Center.
met many years ago, and
Yeah.
at a neighbor's.
My cousin's house.
Your
My cousin
cousin's
introduced
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Do your
yeah.
children like to read?
So we have one child.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that's great.
They
So
like to read. And you were teaching. What college did you go to learn elementary ed?
Well, I went to Middlebury College in Vermont, so
Yeah.
that was it wasn't a teacher's college, but I.
Did you ever hear of Plymouth State, New Hampshire? That's where I started off in elementary ed.
Oh,
But it
excellent.
looked boring. My roommate was an art major.
Yeah,
And
oh,
I
great.
just switched. I'm like, that looks like fun.
Right, fun.
I
Yeah.
didn't tell my parents. I just switched.
There we go. Well,
Now, how many? Let's see. How big is your? Describe your store to us. Tell us about it.
So is it?
It's 1,600 square feet, and there are just lots of bookshelves all around the outside. We unfortunately had to cover up some of the windows with bookshelves because
The windows were huge, so there's windows above the bookshelves. So
It's a very inviting
it is.
place.
It's wood and brick and
It's an
books.
old, mill building,
Yeah.
brick
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
wood floor, old
Does it have the
hardwood
pipes? The
floors.
old mill.
Uh-huh.
Pipes
it does.
overhead.
Yeah.
Yes, nice high ceilings. It's-
And there's space, sort of some open space for where we have events and things like that, and then we have a children's section that is. It's a little separate. You go through a little door to get into the children's section. There's another way around too. So
Yeah. So you have separate sections. You have the children's section.
the children's section, and then it kind of, the children's section, and then it gets into YA, and then gets into everything else. So it's sort of, it's fairly easy. People tell us anyway that it's very easy to
To find things.
To find things.
How about sci-fi and thrillers?
Yeah, yeah.
Thrillers. Have you read the book? Oh, I feel like a jerk. It's a picture of a plane. It's pretty new.
Picture of
Falling. It was a plane going down. It was a mystery thriller.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes,
Not read
that's
that.
with a yellow cover. I
Yeah,
think,
kind
yes.
of, but the plane is just going like this.
Yes, right.
And I had bought it, I don't know, or
Yeah.
maybe when they have books for sale over at the library
Sure.
or something, I went, oh my God, that's what if it doesn't hold my attention, a lot of book clubs, do you ever notice it? Book groups and places, it's boring. It's just, dry, that's the word. I want something that's going to really, really get me.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the things that we're doing, we are in a book club apart from the bookstore also, but it's a different kind of a book club where we pass, 16 families, couples, and we pass books every 2 weeks, 2 books every 2 weeks, one fiction, one nonfiction. So actually we do both read a lot of fiction and nonfiction, which is great. But one of the things that we've been doing is we connected with the Mass Center for the Book. I'm not sure if you've heard about their reading challenge. Yeah. And that's been, as you mentioned, book clubs, and it's been really fun because we meet at the end of anybody who would like to, anybody who's been doing the challenge. We meet the last Friday of the month, or the fourth Friday of the month, at the bookstore, and we've had, like about 10 or 12 people coming, not a huge group, just a really nice group to sit around.
And they have to read a book every 2 weeks?
Well,
2 weeks?
Well, no. That's different. That's not the Mass Challenge. The Mass Challenge is the Center for the Book Challenge is that, like in January it was to read a book less than 100 pages, and then in February it was to read a book based in your hometown or state, and this month it's read a book of poetry, and next month it's
It's a nonfiction of a topic
that you're
not
unfamiliar with, and so it's really fun, and so it's been really. And people have said, they really, the difference, about doing this kind of a gathering as opposed to a regular book club is that everybody's reading a different book, and so we're all learning about new books, and so it's really been great. And people who come are, it's just a wide range of ages and everything, which is really fun.
I once asked the person who was running one of the book clubs, I said, book groups, who's picking out these books?
Yeah.
And she said, well, I am. I'm thinking, not such a good idea. Because you're picking out things that I'll take a look at. I'm like, I've got too many other books to read, and I'm not a fast reader.
Yeah. So I think it's, and so book clubs, sometimes I think the Now book club that takes place at our bookstore has been, they're all women, either women authors or the woman has to be the main, the main focus needs to be a woman. But
we're talking with Joe and Huck Truesdell, and they're the husband and wife owners of TidePool Bookstore in Worcester. And I agree, we need more indie bookstores, a little independent ones. Boy, I like that.
Yeah.
Are you feeling in competition at all with big ones?
With the other ones in Worcester? Just in general. The thing is that we all, that's the beauty of independent bookstores, is that we're all so different that you support one another, because you want everybody to succeed, and we feel very, very supported by them. I hope they feel supported by us, and you go to
an independent bookstore, the selection of books is completely different. Every store you go in. So there's.
Do you have like a cafe or a little place to sit and coffee?
Competition.
Rootin' Press has a cafe, and Bedlam has a cafe. We don't. We were going to have at one point we were going to have a bookstore and a cafe. That was when we were, before we really thought about what are we in for. But we were going to have coffee and a little something. But then we're actually kind of set up for it in the back room, but we couldn't do that anyway when we opened in COVID, and so we're not going to have a cafe now.
Do you ever sell up at the desk the little book bar, spunky things like that, little tchotchkes for people to buy?
Oh yes.
So we do. We have besides books. I mean, most of it is books, but we do have a fairly wide selection of note cards and greeting cards and puzzles and some games and
Have either one of you written a book or thought of it?
Never thought about it?
No.
Never.
I'll bet you they'll have really interesting lives, boy. I bet you. I would bet anything. You're talking again with Joe and Huck Truesdell. They're the owners of the TidePool Bookstore over in Worcester, and it's on Chandler Street. I'm going to get this right. 372 Chandler Street. What color is the building?
It's brick.
It's brick.
It's a brick building.
Yeah.
It's an old mill building.
And people might know it from the Nancy Chang restaurant is
Okay.
there. Yeah, so it's Nancy Chang restaurant is in the back. We're in the front.
We're
So
right
if
in
you're
the
going down
front
Park
of the building.
Avenue, I know Chandler Street. You can just get on that and just keep looking for it. I'll get going down that
Yeah,
way.
if you're
So
down the Park Avenue way,
It's just
you're
west of Park Avenue,
Yeah.
on the way to
West of- okay.
Worcester
Yeah.
State University.
That's
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the students from the universities coming over there?
Absolutely.
We're really lucky. I mean,
Yes.
with all the colleges and universities in Worcester, we see many students and faculty as well.
Right.
And we actually, one of our booksellers is a senior clerk right now,
My
and so
grandfather
that's
went there.
great. Yeah. So it's great. I think that and one of the things that we found, Worcester has really grown a lot in the last since the last census. I mean, it's grown by 20,000 people, and most of the people who have moved into Worcester are sort of 20, 30, 40-year-old, they're
The millennials.
yeah,
Say it.
and they understand the importance, and hopefully we do as well, but the importance of having, independent stores in general, bookstores and other kinds of stores, because that's what makes the community unique. And so they're really supportive of the
I
bookstore.
think people are afraid almost sometimes to go into an independent bookstore because they're afraid that the prices are going to be even higher than they are like at Barnes & Noble.
Do you know what's funny? Somebody was in the bookstore yesterday and said, I checked Amazon and your price is less than Amazon. So, I think it all depends. Then that's not typically the case, I have to admit. We're not, but Amazon is so huge that it can slash its prices, and some things will be higher to make up for the ones that are lower.
Right.
And places like Barnes and Noble also, they can get a much better, better margins and everything like that.
Have you ever
like
been to
that.
Chattanooga in Westboro at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boy, that is so cozy.
Yeah.
Listen, Joe, you brought some things with you. Tell us about those.
Well, I'll tell you why I brought them is because we don't have our May flyer out yet, but I thought people might be interested. This one is taking place in Saturday, actually, Independent Bookstore Day, but we have Maria Jen Ferrari coming, and she's going to do story time at 11 o'clock, and she has these great books, Being a Cat and Being a Dog. She has many more books as well. But so she's going to be coming, and what else? We have Alan Fletcher is doing a talk with us on May 3rd, and he.
Online, do you let people know by email who's going to be appearing there?
Yes.
We have a calendar on our
You've got a
website.
calendar.
Yeah.
Tell them while we're doing this, what's your email address again?
The website is TidePoolBookshop.com. The email address is TidePoolBookshop@gmail.com.
And so people
Yeah.
can hit onto the click that where they could get let's call it a membership, I think almost every month of who's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have yes.
I need to do that too. So just go to the website
Yeah.
and then hitch on to subscribe, right? And then you'll be sending the event notice every
That's
month.
right.
That's the way to go.
That's right. We send a newsletter out every now and again, not that often, but we do. Just so that people will know the events and whatnot that are happening. And
I love that little one right for the kids, being a cat,
Yeah.
and the one being a dog.
It's great. It's great.
That's a
It's
nice
wonderful.
offer.
So,
They're really-
yeah,
they're
Are these all
wonderful
local
books.
authors, most of them?
So most of the authors that we have coming in are local, but not all of them. And we actually had Bill Foyles from Foyles Bookstore in London come, which was really great. So they're not, but most of them have been. There are a lot of bookstores that have been going for a long time. They get big name authors and things like that. We're not. We
We need to promote our local
there
ones,
yet.
really. We
But yeah, and it's great. And I think that I from what we understand, they're happy to be. They feel comfortable at our bookstore, and we had a great thing the other night that actually there wasn't even an author. It was we did a wonderful, fun event on a Friday about buying poems. It was poetry and jazz night, connecting up with someone from WICN, Bonnie Johnson, who does the colors of jazz, and so there was an opportunity to make a connection with her for this program, and so we so things we've done it with the Worcester County Light Opera Company.
We've got many
we like
authors
to make
on
those
here,
connections.
poets. It's just been great from all over. We have one who's from New York City.
Yeah.
He's also was a stage director.
Excellent.
He's been a poet. He's been with us for years.
Yeah, that's
I'll
great.
just send him over to you next time he's up in
Awesome.
the area.
That's
So what else have you got there?
So let's see, what else? So, and then these two Worcester authors that have just come out. This is Searching for Atticus by Janice Harvey, who's been a long time columnist in the
Is it
Worcester
Anything to Kill a
papers.
Mockingbird related?
It has a little tiny bit to do with it because of the name Atticus. It's not an accident that that's the name that she uses. But no, this is it's fiction, but it's a semi-autobiographical fiction. And then this is Ruckus by Richard Golub, who's going to be here in May also.
Ruckus,
And he's in New York City, but this is but without growing up in Worcester. Then we've got a cool.
I see a book down there that we're going to have her on. The last one there, you got dark blue. The dark blue one. I think she's going to have a show coming up.
The other family doctor,
Yeah.
awesome. So she's going to be. Actually, did I write that down? When is she going to be here?
I don't remember.
They are towards the end of May, and she's going to be here with Morgan Baker, who is from Emerson, and she's written a book called Emptying the Nest, and the two of them, which is also about. So they're going to be together. It's great, and but. There also there's going to be the Worcester Animal Rescue League, someone from the Worcester Animal Rescue League, and so we'll be collecting donations for the Rescue League, and so we're really excited about this program as well. So and Holden author.
Do you ever donate to over to UMass Memorial to the Children's Hospital there? Do you ever donate a book or two? Or?
So we we donate to a number of, or just in general, with auctions and things like that. We do
That's good.
make donations in that way, and but we haven't donated anything to the UMass Children's Hospital. We probably should. John Manfredo is. And collects books for the Worcester public school children, so we do make donations into that.
UMass has its own children's hospital within it.
Yeah.
And, I was in the hospital as a child.
Yeah.
And you need distractions.
That's a wonderful idea. We
You
appreciate
need the
that.
distractions, you really do.
Right.
Also, it places behavioral issue schools.
Yep.
Kids with conduct disorder.
Right.
Good books in their hands,
That's right.
instead of this nonsense all
That's
the time.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
And actually, that's what these books.
Yeah,
Being
I
a
like the
dog,
whole
that's
lot.
what this is all about.
Being a
know?
dog.
Exactly, and which is great. So there are a lot of. It's Okay is another book that Wendy O'Leary has written. She's a local person, but there are a lot of books about to help children through those periods. Especially now, gone through COVID, I think that books like Being a Dog and It's
I can't imagine
really
being
important.
isolated, like when I was a kid, from school like that.
I know.
How awful. We didn't have
know.
computers really yet then, just the high monkey techie people, and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know if our friends could come over and visit, or I guess if they wore masks.
Yeah.
That's kind of spooky.
I
So what
know.
else you got there? You got the doctor's
So
book.
wait. The other one, that's another one that Alicia Bissett, who now lives in North Carolina. Yeah, but grew up in Holden, and she has her first book was Smile Beach Murder, but her next book is coming out. I don't have a copy of it because it doesn't come out until May. But Murder on Mustang Beach, and she's going to be here with with Catherine Newman. We All Want Impossible Things, and they're going to be talking. When are they coming? Oh boy, I should have brought all sorts of dates with me. Check the website, but they are going to be talking about writers talking about writing, and so that'll be a really interesting. I mean, these will be the sort of the base of it, structure of it, but
These are
that'll
so-called
be really
cozy mysteries.
yeah.
You know, there's a, who are they? It's a husband and wife team. There's always a Basset Hound or Dachshund on the cover. Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's always says book for murder or something for.
Yeah.
The number 4.
Yeah.
It's a husband and wife team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must be due out for the next paperback by now.
Oh, that's great.
J.C. Eaton.
Okay.
Have you read any of
I
them?
know.
Oh, yeah.
Not familiar.
Book for
but-
Murder was the
that's
first.
great.
But a book club that's. But it's about a lot of senior citizen ladies who
Yeah.
get their nose into something and they
Right.
want to
Yeah.
solve it.
Right.
We got about 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Tell them again how they can reach you.
Again, the easiest way is through the website, TidePoolBookshop.com, or TidePoolBookshop@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we're at 372 Chandler Street in the Nancy Chang Restaurant Building. just
In Worcester.
In Worcester,
And your
Little
days and
Wester Park
hours?
Avenue.
Your days.
We're open every day except Monday from 11 to 5, except Thursdays we're open until 7.
Very good. And everybody's welcome. They have something for everybody, right?
Yep.
We do.
We do from
It's
little
gonna
tiny
be
babies
fun.
all the
Order
way. It
them.
is. It's
To
great.
order the books, you know.
It really is. And one of the things that we do when we order books is it's kind of crazy, but we sort of imagine, we usually try to imagine which of our customers might buy it, and that might not be the person, especially if it's sort of an unusual book. Doesn't mean that person's necessarily going to buy it.
Do most people
but
come in and say, steer me to what I like, or do you just say, you ask them first, like, what's your preference?
Yeah, a lot of people come in and just start looking
I do.
anyway. But a lot of people do. There are people that come in and they ask either us or one of our booksellers. Ron is another one of our booksellers who's a voracious reader, and he reads like. He's all up on all new books that have come out. We've read reviews of them. So it's great. And so they'll, you sort of, there are people that will go to Ron, people that will go to Huck, people that will go to me, people that will go to Kelsey, and that's the way it should be, right? So that.
This has been a
So
blast.
it's fun.
So I'm so glad I read that article in the Worcester Business Journal. It's a fantastic. I got to tell you guys. I mean, it's a beautiful picture. But I do have. Does it look like a fireplace?
We do.
Oh,
we
you do
have
have a
an
fireplace.
electric fireplace.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's
This
very
was Joe's
cozy.
idea.
Well, this is good. We need more
installed it
Indies.
in the bottom of a bookshelf. And
Are there any quiet nooks
lovely.
where people can just get away from everybody?
There are places to sit and comfortably and
okay.
read.
I
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
We're going to have to close. Thank you for
Absolutely.
being with us, Joe and Huck.
Thank you for
And
having
have fun
us.
going to TidePool Bookstore in Worcester. See you next time.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.